What is up, YouTube? Fire Fitness Brand back with another video. Alright, so this video is going to be specifically for adults on how to backbend. So if you already know how to backbend, or if you're a pro at backbends, this video most likely is not for you. So this is specifically for beginners who are adults who want to learn how to backbend or who need to improve their backbend. Besides the obvious reasons of backbends being good for tricking moves or gymnastic moves, backbends are really good for getting deeper stretches and making your spine more flexible, especially if you have injuries. So I'm not a physician at all. If you need to consult with your doctor to see if this is safe or a safe practice for you, make sure to do so. So for adults who are asking why would I want to backbend, we're more stiff as we start to age. So backbends are really good to really stretch out your back, your ligaments, your spine, and your tendons within your back. Also, backbends help bring your body back into balance. It does this by strengthening your back, your chest, your shoulders, your core. The backbend is pretty much a full body stretch. It's a full body movement that will strengthen your tendons and your joints. Backbends actually can increase the length of your spine, which will help promote good posture. This helps relieve tension, tightness, and pain. So throughout this video, I'm going to talk about 4 key points, and that being exercises, stretches, correct form, and breathing. But now that we got the basics out of the way, let's dive right into this video. Some exercises to help you get to the backbend. So by exercises, we're going to be talking about active stretching or dynamic stretching. What this means is you're basically doing stretching movements, but you're moving within the movement. So for example, a static stretch is typically a stretch that you'll hold for a period of time. A dynamic stretch isn't necessarily like a 30-second hold or a minute hold. It's a movement where you're going back and forth within that movement. So now I'm going to show you 3 dynamic stretches that I like to do and I think are the best ones to do when training for the backbend. This stretch is called the Cobra Stretch, and for this stretch you want to place your hands about push-up position. I like to bring my hands actually a little further down than from the push-up position, and make sure to have your legs together and press your feet to the floor, and make sure to exhale as you push your chest up to the ceiling, and make sure to look back behind you. This exercise right here is the backbend press up. On the left hand side, you have what a beginner would do. On the right hand side, you have what an advanced person would do. So when doing this, you want to make sure that your feet are a little wider than shoulder width, and you want to make sure your hands are about roughly where your ears are, and you want your hands to be about shoulder width apart as well. So when doing these backbend press ups, I don't expect you as a beginner to be able to press up all the way, and that's okay. Just press up as high as you can, and every time you do it, you will start to improve gradually over time. If you're having trouble pressing up, you can use your head to assist you. This will take away some of the strain off of your wrist and your shoulders, and it'll help provide a little extra stability. The next dynamic stretch is the puppy pose, and when doing this, make sure your legs are wide and spread apart so it's easier for you to go down. And the goal is to try to get your chest to touch the floor, not your chin. Those dynamic stretches are basically there to prepare me for the stretches that I'm going to do. So yes, it's recommended that you pre-stretch to get into your deeper stretches. And the reason why is because if you dive right into deep stretches, you can end up tearing something or pulling a muscle. So make sure to actually do your dynamic stretches for your warm-up. And then after the dynamic stretches and you're warmed up, I would say do about like 5 reps each for each dynamic stretch. Probably like 2-3 sets at most. And then we're gonna dive right into our static stretches. And these are the stretches that we're gonna hold for a certain period of time. Usually I'll hold 30 seconds for these stretches. And you're gonna see they're basically the same as the dynamic stretches, just a longer hold. When doing the Cobra pose as a static stretch, make sure to follow the same criteria that you would when you do it for a dynamic stretch. Also, if you need a deeper stretch for this Cobra pose, make sure to rise up on your fingertips and go back for the stretch. When you're doing the puppy pose for a static hold, just follow the same exact criteria that you'd follow for this exercise when doing it dynamic. Also, if this movement is too hard, you can stabilize yourself by pressing the back ends of your feet up against the surface. When going into the back bend, there's 2 popular methods that you can do to get into the back bend. One is the push-up straight from the floor, and then the other one is going straight to the bridge where you twist around your wrist. To get a real good back bend will require time, but the quickest way to get there is to keep working on your form. Notice that my hands and my feet are more spread apart for a more stable base. And notice how my head is right in between my shoulders with my back being straight and lined with my wrists all the way down. As you start to progress with the back bend hold, you could even go up on your toes for a deeper stretch. So when doing these stretches, whether it be dynamic, which is more of the active stretching, moving within the stretches, or the static stretches, the traditional stretching where you're holding it for a time, the way you're gonna know if the movement is too advanced for you or not is through your breathing. So breathing is very important right here, because if you're not breathing comfortably, then the movement is too advanced for you. That means you need to take a step back and do something else. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what your breathing should sound like. But when I do this, just know I will over exaggerate the breathing. I usually don't breathe this loud, but I want you guys to hear what I'm talking about when I talk about controlled, steady breathing and not struggling. The breathing should sound very calm, pretty much like it's easy for you. Like it shouldn't sound like you're struggling to do the movement. But basically, whether you're breathing through your nose, out your mouth, or in through both, out through both, it should sound fairly easy in controlled breathing. So overall, if you want to start to do the back bend, or if you want to improve your back bend, you need to focus on dynamic and static stretches, focus on improving your form, and listen and control your breathing. As you progress with the back bend and as you teach yourself how to do this skill, you do not need to be fancy. You don't have to know how to do like 20 different stretches, or you don't have to be advanced at yoga. Basically, just keep it simple, keep it basic. These are the exercises that I basically worked on, and as you see, I'm right inside the comfort of my own home. You could do it at home, at the gym, pretty much wherever you feel comfortable doing it at. But basically, these are the main 3 that I did. Sometimes I'll incorporate different exercises or different movements, but they're not necessarily necessary. These stretches are enough to get you to be doing a back bend pretty quickly and safely. Also, if you're interested in the t-shirt that I was wearing in this video, I'll put the link in the description below. It's very comfortable, and as you can see, I can move around with it, and it doesn't get stretched out. It still fits pretty nicely to my body as I was still maneuvering in it. If this video was helpful, valuable, and informational to you, make sure to like this video, and that way you can recall some things that I said. That way you don't forget them, and you can just go back to the video later. And also make sure to subscribe. That way you get content updates on new tutorials, tips, and everything that we could provide to you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this. We appreciate you guys. Stay fierce. Have a good one.